I'm Sharmin Sultana. We have been foster caring for more than a year. We got accredited in 2019 December. 20 or 21? 21 December, sorry, 21 December.
Yeah.
21 December, during the COVID time, yes.
Yeah, I'm Mirza Farhan. So definitely we both accredited together. So during the COVID time when we were stuck in the home, we thought let's do something great. And I think this is the best thing we have done and achieved.
I am a lecturer, so I teach in CIC Higher Education. It's based in our city, so I teach undergraduate students in the accounting department. Yeah.
And I'm an IT professional, so I do coding, manage projects, all in the IT world.
And during COVID time, one of our friends came to us or reached to us that whether we could help a kid who needed help at that time. However, we were ready, but we got to know that we won't be eligible because we are not accredited foster carer. Only accredited foster carer can help in this kind of situation. We also applied for adoption. During our initial discussion with the lady we were talking from adoption program, she said adoption program is very lengthy, so why don't you get some experience being a foster carer? So that's how we actually knew OzChild and started our journey from there. So our first connection with my foster family was through the adoption program. They advised us about this program, and that's how we got to know about them.
Also, like I personally, I'm also engaged with a lot of voluntary work, and few of my friends they also recommend that agency. And Sharmin already mentioned like the background, like when we were willing to help someone in the community, we couldn't. So I think back in our mind also, like how we can get involved, and that actually that organization opened up the door, and we were involved, and here we are.
Our journey from the very first day we decided to go for this program for the second time were really smooth, seriously, and we were very lucky that the first day we inquired we had a quick response because during that time there was no face-to-face communication because of COVID obviously, but the email responses were always very fast, and all our inquiry were answered really nicely, and they understood exactly what we were asking. Then the training and the 3 months accreditation program, all those things actually were really nice. Yeah.
In addition to that, the program itself was very well organized. Like as a beginner, like whatever question we would have, everything's covered. We find like the staffs are very professional. Everyone from a trainer to the person we are meeting, case officer, support workers, everyone was very supportive.
And our assessment officer as well.
And assessment officer.
She was very
we never felt like we are into something new. We always felt like we are part of it, and it's just a process we are following. And it's the program and accreditation itself is full on, but we find like it's fun, and we are achieving something good, So yeah, it was really good.
It's a very interesting question, that what we actually have learned from that assessment process, training process, Because even now when I am in my community representing as a foster carer, and to my family and friends, I haven't found any foster carer. So I'm the first one, like we are the first one. And it's like others, we had very little knowledge. And there were questions like, do I have to go to somewhere to look after a kid? We didn't know like the kid is gonna come to our place and stay with us. There were many different kind of thoughts that were there. So when we went through the training were very thorough. There were case studies that we did together. There were real lifetime scenarios that we actually have learned. So at the same time, to us, it felt that it's a voluntary service, it's a very rewarding service, you are doing something good. At the same time, we found that there are a lot of responsibility. It's a different way of looking after the kids for their best interest. So the training actually did help us to understand that, to learn that. It was theoretical at that time because we are not involved in practicing that or applying that. But when we had the first young child in our place, those training actually did work, really, like the PACE theory. We applied, and I went back to the manual I had from the training, and there were many things that we actually applied when the child was with us for a short duration, for 7 months, and it helped. So learning those things are very important if anyone wants to become a foster carer. It's lengthy, but it's very important.
Also in the training there were like, the child psychology, child symptom, right? So naturally any biological parent, they don't go through those process to learn those things. So when we had the child, and when they were quiet, when they were, showing certain symptoms, so we could relate from the training, okay, why she is doing that, and what could happen. So our brain was wide open, we were well prepared to explore that. And what happened, like when we were meeting with few biological parents, so we, like in some occasion, we were actually telling them, like, oh, this could be that, try that, so the training was amazing, and I think, and then the biological parents are saying, I think this kind of training, everyone should have it, it's a very well organized program, and it's a parenting plus, it's good for everyone. Especially with our first, child we had in our care, she was a challenging one. She was very smart. She can like process different people different way. So, and that training, we use every bits and pieces, and we unfold her, we unpacked her. We played with her emotion using the PACE theory. Every bit work, and she was like, for all other carers she was with, everyone had a lot of challenge, but she stayed with us like 7 months, and she was very calm. She was well mannered and everything. So definitely it works. It's practical. It's proven.
As a foster carer, if I think like we play as a team. So whenever a child is coming to our home, our roles are divided. So a male person and a female person. So the affection, if it comes from both of us, but at the same time, we find like any child who is facing this difficult time, whether for a night or whether for 3 days or for any reason, it's not possible to understand what they are going through. It is not possible. And observing a child, like if I give you an example of like the recent care we did, she didn't know us. So we requested that, okay, our support carer, like she gave the family our profile so that at least she knows us, like our face. There is no match, right? I don't look like her. My color doesn't look like her. I absolutely two different people, like from two different directions. So if I were in her place, I would have never go with someone I have never met. She had to come with us in our car. Initially she was okay, but when we asked her that please get into the car, she was really, how to say that, like she was scared. She was scared, she was not sure what's going on. Who are we? And at that moment, you know, like when I think about my role or any foster care role, you have to be human, and you have to be human in a different level. For every child, your role changes. It's not the same, but lots of responsibility, lots of compassion, playfulness. These things helps always to nurture a child, even for a shorter duration. So when I think about my role as a foster carer, I think I have to just be there for them. Doesn't matter what I'm facing, tantrum, or if they're crying, if they're upset, even if you're just standing next to a child, they will calm down after a while. But when they find that someone is sitting next to them and thinking about them, they feel that actually, that little child feels that I'm not alone. And that is a big reward. That is a big reward, yeah.
Doing everything for the best interest of the kid, right? So they could have a trauma, they could have a condition, just understand that, you know, be in their shoe to you know, unpack what's happening. And as Sharmin mentioned, like work as a team. Sometimes she is exhausted, you know, so then she needs to have a break. And as a partner or like as a team worker, so I need to step up and you know, give her that space so that she can recharge. And you know, it happened with
our first
kid we
yes.
had. Like she came to a point like, oh, it's too much. I said like, okay, next 2 days it's me. And she recharged, and then, you know, next 2 days I took off, you know. But at the end of the day, when we see like the child is safe, the child is having a good space, and we feel rewarding, you know. And that's a tick for us, like we're doing the job properly, you know.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
As a foster carer, I think the most important characteristics or quality one should have, as I mentioned just a minute back, is you need to be compassionate and don't take anything personally. Don't take things to your heart, and always remember one thing, that as a human being, as a living person on this earth, we are in a much better position than them. We have got so many things that they don't. As a child, like when I grew up, like I never could have think that this kind of things will happen to me. So as a foster, like anyone who decides to become a foster carer, they should not distinguish between childs. Doesn't matter biological child or a foster child. It's just a child. And any child deserves the best of this world. It's just the situation that is different and that has given them a challenging life. So compassion will help. Understanding, listening. You need to have a listening ear. Just listen. Sometimes you may not be able to do anything for the child, seriously, because I faced the question and I had no words to respond to my child, like when she was asking why my mom didn't come to visit me on Mother's Day. I didn't know like how to answer to that question. And it doesn't matter like how you answer and how you try to make a story. They're kids, but they're very smart. So they know that something is wrong going on. It's not normal, because their friends has parents. They're always coming to pick them up, to drop them off. They're coming on the Mother's Day. They're drawing pictures of a healthy, happy family, and they can't. So they even do not have a picture of their mom or a dad. So it's very difficult. It's very difficult. So we won't be able to fill up that position ever. We won't be able to become their mom or dad. And we are also not telling them that we are mom and dad. We are just telling them that in this journey, I am with you. Even though for a shorter time, but I am with you, and you actually are safe with me. And that safe space actually gives them that trust and happiness and calmness in their heart, that I'm not thrown out from this world. I'm a valuable thing, like I'm a valuable kid like others. So that's very important for any foster carer, that they have a listening ear and a heart that is not judgmental at all. Yes.
Yeah, it's like it's contribution. Like the child has a journey, and we're part of the journey in a positive way, and give some learning which will benefit them in the future. Simple as that.
She was a very challenging kid, very challenging. Like, she was super smart.
Super smart. And photogenic memory.
She was like super smart. She was intelligent. She knew how to manipulate the system. And my heart broke that a 5-year-old or 5.5-year-old can think in that way. Plus, at the same time, she knew what her real situation is with her parents. She had a photo. Remember, you gave a photo of her parents, like one mom and dad picture. So, like, I have many kids comes to my place, like my friends' kids, my brother's kids. And my niece one day came to me and told me that Pupi means auntie. She said, Pupi has thrown the picture, her mom's picture, on the floor. They're saying like, my mom is not good, my dad is not good. They don't come to see me. So this kind of thing, when like there's a point when the kids understand that their parents are not there for them, they feel abandoned. They feel abandoned. So that was like those moments, what is going in their mind, it's very complicated.
But also reiterating, when she was telling anything like that, then we were giving her the space here. Maybe we will meet some point when you grow up.
Yeah, we told her, like,
maybe
come
we'll
back.
go together and find them.
Like the last day we said, like, always remember that this is your parents, okay? So, and then she was like, maybe they're lost. She was saying that, maybe she's lost in a forest. I said, yeah, maybe she's lost in a forest. So maybe when you grow up, come back. And if auntie is not old enough, like auntie is not that old, auntie and uncle will go with you and search your mom and dad.
Yeah.
So,
positive,
like just
establishing the
they will
connection.
go together to search your parents. Like, yeah.
Wow.
When she got into her, like out the door, she said, "Mommy, but same did. So that's what I'm saying. What goes into their mind, it's very hard to understand. I think to them, mommy means a safe space, right? That's a safe person. That's a person who will look after me. So mommy is not that mommy, like not the way we think about like mom, like mommy and daddy. So we had to tell her like, okay, that we are not your mom.
Yeah.
You can call me auntie and uncle. We were very excited to have our first young child at our place. We were overwhelmed, excited, and nervous. Very much nervous. But at that time, our carer support helped us a lot. She came along with the child. So I actually made some dinner for them. And because I was nervous than the child, because in my mind, though I had done the training, but in my mind I was thinking, if I were in her place, absolutely with unknown people, and I knew that like I have to stay with them, how would I behave as a 5-year-old? So I would be panicking. So I requested her that please come along with her. So they came, we had dinner together, and on the dinner table, like we were chit-chatting. I could see that the kid was very nervous, but she was not showing that. She was a very strong, a lot of confusions, a lot of questions, like how I will do it and whether she will accept it or not accept, how she will react. But lucky us, she was okay. She was okay. She did not show any tantrum when the support carer left our home. But over the time, as we explored and unfolded her, we knew what was her challenges, and therefore we needed help, and we reached out for that. We reached out to our social, like our carer, support carer, and discussed every bits in details. I used to write every night after putting her in bed. I used to take my laptop and write a long big email and telling like, this exactly has happened today, what we did, more or less every possible details. And then my support carer used to call me. She was an extraordinary personality, seriously. I have had my best experience with her. And she was always talking. She was always communicating and helping me in the space where I needed help. So, and that's what I was applying. So we were working as a team. Yeah. Can you even think that you don't have anyone in your life? Like as a child, as a 5.5, you find yourself like abandoned. You find yourself today here, tomorrow there. Like how does that make you feel? Like, and that's why her characteristic is that strong and challenging. It's nothing wrong, but it's just
part of that attachment maybe I think we should add. So we didn't have many screen time. So what we did, like, because she had a long day, like she used to go to the kinder at 7 o'clock, she used to come back around 5 o'clock,
5 o'clock,
and then she used to go to bed at 8 o'clock. So 3 hours. So at home. So, and then historically she used to see iPad, TV. So what we did, like, okay, those 3 hours she is with us has to be quality time. So either I'm playing with her, cricket, soccer, or maybe drawing. So it's a quality time, simple as that, no screen time. Screen time was in the weekend, but initially she was asking for the iPad. She used to say iPod. But later on she was enjoying it because she never had that kind of attachment. And then when she left us, she was asking us, why can't I stay with you guys? Why have to leave? So then we saw like, okay, some sort of attachment is coming.
A little bit of attachment. I think that was really a reward for us. Like I remember, like I sat with her on the doorstep, and when she was going?
She just sat, at the door, and she doesn't want to go.
And so we sat, and
She never do
why
that.
you were asking me to leave? So, and I was like, okay, that is a really sad moment. But I said, no, I'm not asking you to leave. It's I'm our auntie. This place is going to be always yours. So whenever you feel like you want to come back, come back. It's just like you need a place where you can stay forever. And as soon as you move to your forever family, you will not go to any other auntie's house for weekends. And she was a smart kid. She understood it. She understood it.
Because she had her different work. So her normal pattern is like in the morning when the driver comes, as soon as she's out, she won't look back. So she knows she is entering in a different world. As soon as she is in the kinder, she is in a different world. So what we did, we established connection. So we went to the kinder, spent some time over there. We talked with her driver, spent some time on there. We talked with the psychologist, therapist. So all of a sudden she saw like we had connection with all her world. Because when she is back home, she won't talk about anything. She's closed. But as soon as she realized, okay, my uncle auntie knows everyone, everything, So we started the conversation, okay, how was your day with your psychologist? Or did she mention you this? And she was like, oh, what's happening? Then we started the conversation, and she slowly realized, okay, we have access to everything.
She can't hide anything.
She can't hide.
And she used to say like, do you know everything? I say, I know everything. That has never happened with you, like happened with her. Like usually a mom, like a biological mom, will have a very good understanding of what's going on in her child's life, who she's talking, who she's meeting, what she's doing. But in her life that was missing. So initially she couldn't accept that I am interfering in that life. Why I'm talking with the childcare, why I'm talking with the therapist, why I have to talk with the driver. Why do you do that? But later on she understood that I am her auntie, and aunties does it. Family does that. So therefore I think the last days when she left, we were lucky to see some sort of connection.
And trust.
And attachment and trust, yeah. So even she did some complaint about us to the driver. And at that point I realized I have spoken to everyone except the driver at that point. I was not talking, because there were different person coming every morning. So that's the only group of people who we haven't spoken. But others, we have an understanding. So she's playing with that card. So we involved Johanna and Kelly and told her this is what is going on, and you guys need to intervene to see exactly what's happening, otherwise it's going to go really, really bad. So eventually it was all sorted out, but the little one had real smart.
Even like we had a really big birthday for her, right? And she is a very cute pie. And what happened, like next day, the driver definitely asked us, can we give her a present? And she bring a nice box and present, and give it to her, Julia. Julia was not at all excited because she had bigger box than that. So then the driver realized like what we are actually facing, And then we told like say thank you, appreciate, because the driver doesn't need to bring a present for her. Then so I think those connections are very important, like for the kid, where they're going, because naturally biological parents does that. Because being a foster parent, sometimes if you are not involved, because everyone working as a team, everyone is doing their bit, but if the kid is very smart, they can use it different ways,
It was because the kinder was providing food.
Yeah.
I think when she was in respite, and I had no experience with childcare, so I packed some food. So the childcare people gave me a note. Do
And
not
they
give
called.
food. No. First, there's
First.
quiet time. Do not give any food. You are not allowed to send any food with the kid because of allergy. So sorry. So when she came for a longer term, there was a day when they were learning how to cope with the schools, like, because they will be going to school soon, so they will be bringing food. So I called and I said, like, what exactly you want? So I said, just so that they learn how to eat from their own tiffin box, lunch box. I really had all these ideas from them that they will be providing the food as well, but they want the kids' house
Just
will
a
provide them
practice
something,
thing.
so they'll practice. So I was giving them the little sandwich and one jelly, maybe half a banana. And she showed those food to the driver. She said, "No, this is not enough for me." I said, "Seriously?" So I took some pictures. Like every day I was to take some pictures. So good that I had that habit. So I sent those pictures to Johanna as well. Like, look, this is what I was doing, and this is what is my communication with the childcare. So childcare was giving her breakfast, tea, that's 10 o'clock tea time, and lunch as well. So as a child, when she was opening that box, I gave her what she could eat within that time frame. So I don't understand where these confusions are coming from. So that's what I said, just ask. So nothing to take it personally. Like I was taking it personally, seriously, because I didn't have the experience. Like I was like, really about food? And I love cooking. Seriously, I have some dessert for you guys too as well today. So I was like, for me, food, no, it's not the thing. So she was trying to find out a way.
It's at the end of the connection.
Yeah,
Like you need
connection,
to establish
but
a connection.
nothing else.
You know,
It's
have
not
the
personal.
communication channel open.
Yeah. She really did try to give us a hard time so that we make her go.
And I told to Sharmin, like, that's her
That's
strategy.
what she's
that's the
she's
strategy
wanting.
working. Because she's already here for 2 months.
How long she's gonna be here for? Now she wants a new home. And she said, no, we'll not do that.
And I said that I think that's one of the things I mentioned. Like, and then we said like our strategy should be okay. Let's do the opposite, because she's trying to push us out. Like we do something different, so that she understands it's not gonna work out. So
she later realized that she's not going anywhere. She has to stay here. Doesn't matter what happens. And then
that's why
okay,
one of the things we recommended, like a forever home. Like wherever she goes, she needs to settle, you know, because she's much ahead of her age. She's 5.5, but she thinks like 13, 14, or even, you know.
I mean, and because of her situation possibly. And in such an early age, she has seen, and I think when she was taken from her parents, that was a really bad situation.
3.5.
Yeah.
She didn't even cry.
She didn't even cry to leave her mom. So she suffered a lot as well. Yeah. And not every kid is like that. If someone is coming to foster caring for the first time, they will be overwhelmed. Same like every other foster carer who came to this program. Everyone needs to just ask for help. Don't hesitate that, or maybe I'll be judged that I can't manage, or I don't have the quality, but I'm becoming a foster carer. So how come I'm a foster carer if I don't know how to handle it? It's not like that. There's no manual. So if you do not know, just talk, ask for help. And there are a lot of helps. But they will not know until you actually ask a question. So there should not be any hesitation. There are a lot of foster caring family as well in the community. They can be helped. Your support carer is the first place to go. Anything happens, just share. There is nothing that's hide and seek matter there. As at the same time, there is no one is judging us. No one is judging us here. We are all here for the best interest of a kid who is in a difficult situation. So there's nothing right or wrong. There is a logic for everything. So if anyone is doing something with a good heart, that's enough. But there can be, we may be doing something that may not be interpreted the perfect way, but the effort is important. So if you have any question, just ask. The very first day and today, there is a lot of difference. On the very first day, as I said, like, we were very nervous. We were very nervous. And we had some preconceptual ideas that may have happened. This is that, like, I was scared. Thinking that we may not be able to support these kids, or it may be having a negative impact in my personal life. As you can understand, everyone has got their own sort of rules in their life, and you are comfortable with that. You do not want to break your comfort zone. And we had the same thing, like, we didn't want to break our comfort zone. We wanted to do good, but we didn't want to break our comfort zone as well. So that was working in our mind. But seriously, it doesn't break your comfort zone at all. Rather, it adds more value to it, more quality to it. You feel like, someone says to me one day, like, Sharmin, you have got so much to give. So you should find a place where you can give that thing. You have got so much affection to give. So as you try to give that, and if you get opportunity to give that, you feel that as a human being you are happy, and that's very important to feel. So from the very first day till now, doesn't matter how many care we have done, not that many, but I know that I'm ready to help and I'm not scared, because there's nothing to be scared of. And we have developed, like, we consider ourselves parents now. Parents for those kids who need help. And we know that we are not judgmental at all, and we can be we can give them those kids a place where they can find trust and safety. Yeah. But this kind of we were not thinking in that way when we started foster caring at the beginning.
Yeah, it's definitely been a journey, and it's a learning. So with our first kid, it was very challenging, right? So definitely we didn't have any background, so we had so many questions. At the same time, you have a challenging kid. So kid already walked us out with a new carer. Okay, so she's playing all her cards, you know. So she would ask for it. She will pretend crying, you know. She will shout and she will do everything, you know. So we had our moments, and in our moments we had a discussion. So we said, like, look, if she was or is our biological child, we can't just throw her out, you know. We will try to work it out. So definitely we're new to it, so let's find a way. So and because being like biological parents, it's your kid, you know, you can't just throw them out. As a foster parent, you have the option, you know, if the kid is too hard, okay, let's try out the next kid. So, and we didn't think we are not going to go down that path. So, and we worked out like that. The child has an attachment issue, child had a trust issue, child had a connection issue. So then we had our strategy, how we can work on it, you know, how we can build the trust, how we can build the attachment, how we can build the connection, right? And part of that strategy, like uncle and auntie, like a child had an issue with identity. So she was calling everyone mommy and daddy. Why she was calling everyone mommy and daddy? Because she gets extra benefit out of it. Because people get emotional, oh, she's calling me mommy and daddy. So we tell her, we try to explain her, okay, what are the roles around you? What are the responsibilities? Clear communication. And she was understanding. Her communication was really good, and when we were explaining to her, she's understanding. So we are setting the boundaries. And and when we find like, okay, whatever we're doing, it's working, it's making positive changes, that gives us the confidence, and that helped us to develop as a carer. Luckily, we had a challenging kid. Now, I think the next child we had, like looking at her, we know what's happening in her mind, you know.
We were not nervous at all.
We are not nervous at all, and we were surprised. Like, it's a very easy kid. and when she was quiet, so between us, we were telling like what's going in her mind. So with a challenge, so that helped us to grow, and I think we definitely can support many kids down that way.
Everyone who is considering to become a foster care, or they're thinking that whether I should do it or I should not do it, this should not be a question. It should be like, if you do have a room that is empty 12 months a year, not getting used, you have food in your pantry that is too much for your family, you have your knowledge that you are sharing with your kids or your other family members, and yeah, there are more to give. So why not?